Today is a Wednesday, October 18, 2023. Pentagon's controversial critique of PLA interceptions. Global Times. While emergencies in different districts presently can't seem to die down, the U.S. military has been occupied with spreading new adjusts of dread and making new emergencies in China's area, assuming some pretense of the China danger. As indicated by a related press report on Wednesday, the Pentagon delivered a film containing part of the in excess of 180 capture attempts of U.S. warplanes by Chinese planes throughout the course of recent years. The article asserted that this number is bigger than the aggregate sum in the beyond 10 years, bringing about worries from U.S. military authorities. Last month, it was uncovered by Reuters that the Pentagon is supposed to deliver its yearly report on China's tactical modernization and protection technique in mid-October. It is obvious that the U.S. military knows how to get this show on the road, another flood of promotion on China's military danger. The thaw-out in China-US relations has been accelerating lately. U.S. Senate bigger part trailblazer Throw Schumer actually determined an assignment of lawmakers to visit China, which is seen as a huge event in the resumption of correspondence between the two countries. Meanwhile, according to a Reuters report last week, the U.S. part of the Watchman recognized China's consolation to send specialists to go to the Xiangshan get-together to be held in Beijing not long from now. This is the most recent indication of possibly warming ties between the two nations' militaries, investigated the article. However, against this background, the U.S. military is as yet attempting to save its face, all things considered, in its eyes, delivering utter altruism equivalent to showing the white quill to China. Consequently, it turned back to the hypes of the story that China's People's Liberation Army, PLA, expanded capturing U.S. military airplanes trying to legitimize its steady aggression toward China. Such confounding signs from the Pentagon show that the U.S. doesn't have the perfect mindset to participate in military trade with China. Washington is the one making issues, yet it needs to constrain the Chinese side to tackle the tactical issues the U.S. made. With such an outlook, how should any China-US military trade become smooth? Since the Pentagon is so enamored with numbers, we should investigate this, a Chinese technology and intelligence company told the Global Times in February that in 2022, the U.S. military completed close-in observation tasks in the South China Ocean north of 600 times utilizing spy planes. This does exclude the number in the East China Sea and Yellow Sea, which are likewise survivors of endless provocation from U.S. military airplanes and vessels. Clear initially is really showing coercive expectations and leading to risky conduct in China's area. As a matter of fact, the Pentagon's arrival of the PLA captured photographs and recordings simply shows how wildly the U.S. has infringed on China's public safety and power. The precarious expansion in the number of PLA captures of U.S. warplanes highlights the way that the U.S. has tightened up its messages against China under the Indo-Pacific methodology. Obviously, the U.S. is a miscreant for China's public safety, and we are completely legitimate in protecting our own advantages. Notwithstanding developing badgering from U.S. military airplanes and vessels, the PLA's interference is sensible and essential. It is likewise proficient and precise, as the Chinese military embraces a technique of close observation and intense shock, just to stand up to them at an extremely close distance without terminating. This plans to raise the gamble of U.S. military activities in China's area, increment the expense for the U.S. to seek after its procedure of containing China, and channel its certainty. As a provocateur, the U.S. is great at playing the stunt of a hoodlum crying "stop cheating." Behind this warped way of behaving is the U.S. authorities' drawn-out presumptuous and oppressive mentality. It indecently faults different nations for safeguarding their power since it compromises its crazy and savage activities. Notwithstanding the Pentagon, Ottawa as of late likewise overemphasized the PLA's block attempt. Canadian Defence Minister Bill Blair griped that the capture of a Canadian military plane by Chinese warrior jets over international waters on Monday was perilous and careless. Nations like the US and Canada ought to comprehend that since they dare to incite inconveniences in China's airspace and regional waters, they need to continuously be prepared for major areas of strength for China and the most dire outcome imaginable they could confront one day. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel.
you.